femme me plaît par exemple parce qu'un homme que j'admire est amoureux d'elle. Quel plus grand hommage peut-on rendre à un homme que de lui prendre sa femme?
Hello and thanks for joining us. Knight Rider and Baywatch star David Hasselhoff, Leon legend John Reno and Dr. Quinn star Jane Seymour were among some of the talents at Monaco's Monte-Carlo Television Festival. It's a celebration of the small screen that's been taking place for more than 60 years. France 24's Genie Godula was the mistress of ceremonies at the event, and she met with the British actress Joanne Froggatt, who we know best as Anna Bates in Downton Abbey.
We're here at the Monte-Carlo Television Festival, where dozens of stars from the small screen are in town. And joining me today is one of them, British actress Joanne Froggatt. Joanne, hello.
Hello.
So many of our viewers know you, of course, for your success in Downton Abbey. We're going to talk about that a bit later. But first, tell me about the opening of your new series last night that opened the festival here in Monte-Carlo.
Yes, so we're very privileged to be here opening the festival with Last Light, which was an incredible experience to sit and watch with an audience for the first time and see it on a big screen. It's always lovely to do that and sort of feel the audience reaction. So, and what better place to do it than the Monte-Carlo TV Festival.
Why did you choose this project? Did you like it because of the serious subject matter?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I'm always very quick to say, as actors, you know, we're not saving lives. We're here to provide entertainment first and foremost, and that's what we do, and that's what, you know, good television and film does and does well. But added with that, if there is an underlying issue or message within a project, I'm certainly very much drawn to it. They're the sort of shows and films that I want to watch. Something with an intelligence behind it, and something, you know, that not only can entertain, but hopefully enlighten at the same time.
This show, of course, talking about the effects of global warming around the world. The show was also shot around the world. You yourself did many of your scenes in France. What was that like for you, working and acting in French?
It was incredible, actually. I don't speak French fluently at all, so it was a new skill to try and learn. And it's only a few lines, but I absolutely loved it. I worked very hard at it, yeah, it's inspired me to carry on with learning the French language. It's such a beautiful language, and it was incredible to work internationally again. You know, physically, as in literally internationally, be abroad working, because that was the first time since the pandemic that I'd worked abroad. I've been working in the UK, and it was wonderful to be back. We filmed a lot of the stuff that I did in Prague, and then also some in Paris. Two beautiful cities, and it just felt. It just felt incredible to be back doing what we love to do and in these incredible settings. I was very grateful. Yeah.
Last Light has such a great cast. Matthew Fox plays your husband, who many of our viewers might know from Lost. Also Tom Felicia from Game of Thrones. You yourself from Downton Abbey. I mean, these are three iconic television shows. Did the three of you ever look at each other and kind of share notes on those incredible experiences that you had?
We didn't really, actually. No, we did. You know, we all obviously knew each other's, career history. Of course, how could you not? So, but it's wonderful to sort of, you know, just step in with actors of the caliber of Tom and Matthew, because, you know, we all were just at home straight away, and they're both such great actors and gracious humans and kind and fun to be around. So it's just lovely to work with people that have a similar mindset, and it just makes the whole process so easy.
So your own iconic series, of course, was Downton Abbey, which not only ran for 6 series, but also had 2 feature films. Is there a difference for an actor doing a film as opposed to doing a series these days, or are the lines completely blurred?
The difference with doing a film is, you know, the practical differences are that you do have more time to shoot doing the movie. So, you know, there's more time to sort of create what everyone wants to create. On a TV show, you know, there's a very tight schedule. So that's the sort of biggest difference. Other than that, you know, there's a bit more budget, a bit more time. Other than that, it's you know, the process is the same.
Your character in Downton Abbey, Anna, played the maid to Lady Mary. You won a Golden Globe for that award. She's such a fan favorite. Why do you think so many people related to her?
Well, I love that they did, so thank you everyone that did. But I hope it's because of all the reasons I wanted to play her and I relate to her, which is that she's, ultimately an incredibly good person. She has a really strong moral code, but she is not a walkover. And I actually believe, it takes a stronger person to be a good person than it does to be a bad person. And I think, if someone's a good person, people can often underestimate that and presume that they're soft and that you can walk all over them. And I really wanted to make sure that wasn't Anna, which it never was, that she had this real strength of character and she used it for good. And also, the slow burn love story with Mr. Bates really sort of took to everyone's hearts and ours. So, yeah, it was a wonderful character to play.
There is something about him. Like a wild animal ready to spring.
Ready to spring on you, you mean?
And I was doing some research on your career and what was happening during those years. And I read a funny anecdote, if you could share it with me. There was a day on the set when a very high-profile princess came on set. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. Yes, so we had a wonderful royal visit from the Duchess of Cambridge. And so for days and the whole week before, we have big security details coming round and police and sniffer dogs and, the whole thing. And then they come round every day and, it's a big sort of circus that's set up. And then the day that she was visiting, Michelle Dockery, who plays Lady Mary, and I we were actually filming a scene. The rest of the cast were brought in to sort of do a meet and greet. And there's a sort of handler that pops in before her and runs in and says, "Okay, she'll be here in 5 minutes, 5 minutes." So you're like, okay, right. And then he comes back and it's like 1 minute, like, okay, right. 30 seconds. So it's like the build-up is, intense. And then lovely Kate Middleton walked into the room and Michelle and I were filming. And so we met her after we finished our scene. And she very graciously shook our hand and said, "Oh, it feels very strange to be in Lady Mary, to be in your bedroom," to Michelle. and I just sort of went, "Oh yeah, not many people get to come in Lady Mary's bedroom." And then I was like, oh my goodness, what have I just said? Yeah, so I'm the queen of double entendre. But yeah, she cracked a tiny, tiny smile, but was very, very kind and didn't draw attention to it.
Joanne, just to wrap up, you've done so many things in your career. You also have your own production company now. What's next for you?
I can't say exactly what's next, but I'll be hopefully... there's something coming up at the end of the year and something I'm going to announce soon, actually, with my production company, but I can't yet say.
All right, we'll leave it at that then. Joanne Froggatt, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Next to a cult French film made by a seemingly cursed director, Jean Eustache's The Mother and the Whore is making its return to the big screen 50 years after it was released. Ellen Gainsford and Renaud Lefort take a look back at the story of this subversive hit.
Ce soir au Festival international du film à Cannes, une œuvre qui dure 3 heures et demie et qui a déjà provoqué des remous, ne serait-ce que par son titre, La maman et la paix, point de suspension.
The film didn't just make waves, but a tsunami when it was first released. 50 years on, The Mother and the Whore has achieved cult status, and it's still being talked about.
Paris est très beau la nuit.
It stars smooth talker Alexandre, played by Jean-Pierre Léaud.
The film follows the path of a man who's trying to get by, who attaches himself to 2 women, Bernadette Lafont and Françoise Lebrun.
Depuis que je vous ai rencontré, je me suis fait des petits rêves érotiques avec vous. Et j'ai l'impression que vous ne devez pas être mal au lit.
It's an unusual mix of theatrical language, black and white cinematography reminiscent of the Lumière brothers, and sexually graphic dialogue from its female lead.
Comment voulez-vous faire l'amour? Tendrement ou violemment?
Françoise Lebrun plays Veronica, who's going through a sexual awakening. The actress remembers the film's first screening at Cannes.
J'ai envie de rebaiser avec vous. Pourquoi les femmes n'auraient-elles pas le droit de dire qu'elles ont envie de baiser avec un type?
When we hit the red carpet, there wasn't much fuss. And then at the screening, the reaction was really extreme. We could feel that it caused real shock. There were boos and cheers. Jean-Claude Brialy supported us. Jean Moreau also came to support the film's team. There were also people who cried, "You should be ashamed." I found it amusing.
Despite the scandal, The Mother and the Whore won the Grand Jury Prize at the Cannes Film Festival.
Prix spécial d'une majorité de jury, La maman et la putaine de Jean Eustache.
Are you proud to have been crowned by a jury made up of these members?
I'm very surprised and very proud, very happy. I don't know them, but now I want to meet them.
The story could have stopped there, but Eustache committed suicide in 1981. Following his death, his son refused to allow his films to be screened. They became underground hits, passed from hand to hand on VHS, and then on pirated DVDs.
Vous savez, j'avais un peu peur de ne pas vous reconnaître.
Vous ne m'en voulez pas pour hier. Vous savez, je suis désolée.
But now, nearly half a century later, Boris Eustache has changed his mind, and the film is being screened again in a restored version.
Il y a eu la révolution culturelle, mai 68, les Rolling Stones, les Cheveux Longs, les Black Panthers, les Palestiniens, l'Underground, et depuis 2-3 ans, plus rien.
We had to restore the film, then we wanted to bring it to the biggest audience possible. We're living in a time when cinema is getting a bit standardized, when there's a kind of over-industrialization of the image. Now this work is here, completely free and multifaceted, to show us what a film can really be.
This year, the audience at the Cannes Film Festival gave the film a standing ovation. It looks like the dark horse of French cinema is garnering a new generation of fans.
Mon cœur est une fleur d'automne, sans ça. Comme vous êtes pauvre, comme vous êtes con, comme je vous déteste. Je vous le donne.
And we'll leave you with a glimpse of the George Michael documentary, Freedom Uncut, that's in cinemas this week for one day only. Remember our website, we're also on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
Modern day Elvis.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Michael!
He was the biggest pop star in the world.
And all I wanted at that time was success.
It changed the whole face of how videos were done.
They observe. They contact us. They report, film, photograph. They are the voice of the voiceless. Your eyes in the far-flung reaches of the world. The Observers, a network of 5,000 committed citizens working with France 24.
One of our observers in Côte d'Ivoire, Gaspard.
Amateur footage and testimonials checked by our journalists and broadcast weekly. On The Observers, on France 24 and observers.france24.com.